Om Shanti. How are you? People beat their heads so much to retain this honeymoon phase for as long as possible. Attempts to elongate the period of honeymoon phase is no different from attempts to elongate the period of sexual arousal or to elongate the period of anger. None of them is good either for physical health or mental health. Why? Because it is not normal. It results due to the instability of the mind. In many cultures, people want you to have baby soon after your marriage, which means they want you to have a baby while you are still within this honeymoon phase period. Once you are out of honeymoon phase, you will no longer be interested in sex. Is it possible to prolong the honeymoon phase throughout your life? Of course it is possible. Only if you change your partner daily throughout your life. It is because of people's addiction to this honeymoon phase intoxication, people visit prostitutes. So this honeymoon phase is at its peak at the beginning of your relationship, and it gradually fades away over time. If you really want to understand how this honeymoon phase works, just think about a very beautiful girl that you see in your workplace or in your college or school for the first time. You will feel as if she is very beautiful. You will be so attracted towards her. But after the second and third day, you will feel like, how did she appear so beautiful in the beginning but not now? And another important thing to note is, if somebody falls in love with that girl, the honeymoon phase is going to decrease for that guy very soon compared to other guys in the class. This is not the nature of relationship, but it is the nature of lust. The intensity of the intoxication you experience at the beginning of your relationship does not depend on the other person, but it depends purely on your upbringing. It purely depends on how corrupted your mind has become by listening to love songs and songs that induces sexual feelings towards the opposite sex. So it depends purely on how much sexual thoughts and love thoughts you have consumed through movies, songs, and through your friends and relatives, that you feel the high intensity of this honeymoon phase at the beginning of your relationship. Actually, it is the lack of control over your mind that makes you experience this honeymoon phase. If you have full control over your mind, you will not feel any change either in the beginning of the relationship or in towards the course of the relationship. So if you feel absolutely no honeymoon phase at all in the beginning, and if you are okay with it, then the chances are that relationship is going to last forever. But if you feel the high intensity of honeymoon phase in the beginning of the relationship, then it is quite likely that you are going to get addicted to that honeymoon phase, which is not going to be able to attain from that relationship after a few days. Then you are going to fall for somebody who is going to provide you with that intoxication. So the real question is not how to retain this honeymoon phase for a longer period of time, but it should be how to get rid of this honeymoon phase altogether. How to be absolutely ignorant of this honeymoon phase, because this honeymoon phase is actually the indicator that your mind is unstable. So if you experience honeymoon phase in the beginning of your relationship, it obviously means you have experienced strong attraction towards the opposite sexes, right from your childhood. So that is something you should have considered abnormal and try to come out of it. But unfortunately, there is nobody in this world that says that it is unnatural. So it is when this sexual attraction towards the opposite sex go overboard that people indulge in acts like adultery and rape. Once the honeymoon phase ends, you will feel as if you are just a friend with your partner, and you no longer feel like you are with someone of opposite sex, but you will feel as if you are with the same gender, which is actually normal, which is actually essential for a healthy relationship. See, that's how you felt when you were with your parents, when you were with your siblings, right? Even when they belong to the opposite sex, you are not even a least bit attracted towards them. That's why the relationship was stable. But it is because of the people's addiction towards this honeymoon phase that people nowadays even get attracted to the relationships that is otherwise considered non-sexual. So the real reason people wants to be in the honeymoon phase forever is they haven't accomplished anything worth mentioning in their life. They have no passion, so they want to derive happiness from this honeymoon phase because they can't derive happiness from the rest of their life. So it is a strong indication that you are not doing anything worth in your life. So it is time to value your life and time and do something fruitful. This honeymoon phase results in the constant staggering of mind, which is actually a big obstacle to do any work that requires enormous amount of concentration. If you see yourself and your partner coming out of this honeymoon phase, that's a good sign. Now your mind is absolutely free that you can concentrate on anything productive. People long to stay in honeymoon phase forever mainly because the society we live in constantly brainwash people into thinking that sex is essential for the healthy married life. But the truth is quite opposite of that. It is sex that spoils the married life. If you indulge in sex daily, it obviously means you are thinking of somebody else while you are involving in sex with your partner, because you will no longer be sexually attracted to your spouse after a few months. Only if you arouse yourself sexually by seeing sexual images in videos and photos, or by seeing other men and women with lust, only then you will be able to indulge in sexual acts with your partner. Guess what? You will be turned on sexually more towards the other people than your partner after marriage. So if you don't stop your addiction to your sexual thoughts, you are obviously going to screw up your married life. The hard truth is, the more and more you engage in sex with your partner, the more and more you are going to get attracted to other people. So in order for you not to get attracted to other people, you should put an end to your sexual life with your partner. Because in order for you to have satisfaction through sex, you should produce thousands of sexual thoughts, because it is actually a mind process. Where can you go for 1,000 thoughts? Obviously you will have to think about someone other than your partner in order for you to enjoy the sexual pleasure. So that is going to corrupt your mind more and more, and also it is not good for your health. As much as it is harder to retain the honeymoon phase in your relationship with a partner, it is equally harder to stay away from the sexual attraction with others. So the actual solution is to connect your mind with God. That is the only way to control your mind from staggering. As I mentioned earlier, this honeymoon phase is nothing but your lack of control over your mind. So that's an indication. If you don't uh, take serious about this indication and work on it, when you encounter some big problem in your life in the latter part, then you will find your mind going out of your control with those negative thoughts that's going to give you a panic attack and many things that's going to ruin your life. So the way to come out of this problem is to have full control over your mind, and to do that there is only one way. First, you need to consider yourself not as this perishable body but as an imperishable soul that shines like a tiny star in between your eyebrows. That is why Hindus have this habit of wearing religious symbols right in between the eyebrows. So that's where we are. We are not this body. This is just an instrument given to us to do whatever we wanted. By we, I mean the soul. Actually, the mind and the intellect forms a part of the soul. So now the soul has no power to control the mind. So to regain the power, we need to connect our mind to the Supreme Soul, who is called God Shiva by Hindus, Allah by Muslims, and Heavenly Godfather by Christians. God is just one. He doesn't enter the birth and death cycle like us. He never takes a birth from a mother's womb, but He comes at the end of this world cycle that lasts for 5,000 years to give this knowledge, to fill our soul with the power so that we can have full control over our mind. How do we do that? It's pretty simple. God asks us to consider ourselves to be the souls and then remember God as a point of light. He is also a soul. That is why He is called Supreme Soul, Param Atma. So the more you remember God as a point of light, you will find yourself having more and more control over your mind. So you can see the result just like that when you practice this while you're in the middle of some kind of thoughts of infatuation. So not only we need to remember God as a point of light as much as possible, but also we need to listen to the knowledge of God that He gives by entering an old man's body, and He names that man Brahma, and He gives knowledge through the mouth of Brahma. That knowledge is called Murli, which is available absolutely free of cost in all Brahma Kumaris Raja Yoga Meditation Center that is spread across the globe. You can also Google for the Murli in the language you wish, so make use of it, because God is one and the knowledge given by God is also one. So God comes only once in this entire 5,000 year time cycle. He comes only in the end, and the knowledge given by God is also available for us only now. If you miss the chance, the loss is on us, because what do we get by learning the knowledge of God? Not only will we have the power over your mind so that you can stay out of this sexual attraction that has been a big obstacle for any improvement in your life, and also in addition, if you remember God as a point of light as much as possible, you will feel your soul be filled with all the powers that is necessary to enter heaven, because the world is going to be converted into heaven anytime soon after the destruction of this world. So that you can expect anytime soon, because you can see by listening to world news daily that the world war can break out anytime, and also the natural calamities, everything will happen in the near future. So that's actually a good sign for us, because it is only after the destruction of this world the new world, heaven, is going to be established in this world. The same world is going to be converted to heaven. So that's the work of God. But what is our work? To become eligible to take birth in heaven. How do we do that? By possessing all the qualities that we originally possessed in heaven 5000 years back. Yes, we were residents of heaven in the beginning. It is after taking several rebirths, after 2500 years, the heaven becomes hell. That is where we live in now. But after 2500 years of hell, the hell will again be converted to heaven. So it's a time cycle like 24-hour time cycle where a day and night constantly repeats. Likewise, this heaven and hell constantly repeats. So now it's time for the destruction of this hell and the establishment of heaven again. So the number one obstacle for us to enter heaven is nothing but lust. That's why we need to conquer it. It is only God who says lust is the greatest enemy, while the rest of the world says lust is something natural, lust is something that gives you energy, lust is something that is essential for the healthy relationship. But the truth is quite opposite of that. It takes a little bit of sense to understand that. The reason many relationships fail is because they choose the partner based on the sexual attraction. So depending on the intensity of attraction, they choose their partner. So obviously that attraction is going to fade away within few days. So then, since they are still attracted to others, they will go for a better partner, which results in the breakup of the existing relationship soon. But if you have full control over your mind, guess what? You need not look out for your partner. They will come all by themselves. Not only the partner, but also everything you need in your life will come all by its own. And you can also easily accomplish any task and you progress in your field of interest very easily. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. So please share this video to your friends and relatives so that our brothers and sisters also benefit from this video, which is only one of its kind in the entire YouTube videos. You can cross check it and let me know it. Om Shanti.